got someone or something crawling around out here.
Did you see what it was? Was it a person or an animal or?
I can't tell. All I know is that my sensor light came on and I just happened to glimpse and see this thing running across the yard. A good-sized man or something. Looks like a man. I don't know what it was. Just that it ran across the yard.
Okay. You've had problems in the neighborhood before?
Yeah, my dog was killed here just recently. I don't know what it was. Whatever it is, it's running. I couldn't catch it if I was going to chase it. But whatever it was, it was standing up. I'm out here looking through the window now and I don't see anything. I don't want to go outside. Jesus Christ, you better...
Sure.
Theo!
Hello?
Get somebody out here.
What's going on now, sir?
That son of a bitch is about 6'9", I don't know.
Do you see him now, sir?
Yes.
You're listening to Paranormal 411, coming to you live from an undisclosed location deep within the Appalachian Mountains, bringing you the unknown with your hosts David Reagan and Jason Scott. Paranormal 411. All right, welcome everybody.
Woo, welcome everybody. Happy Friday the 13th, Jason. Friday the 13th.
Yeah.
It's the most luckiest day in the world.
It is a lucky number.
I think it is, yeah.
Yeah.
It's had a bad rap, poor 13.
Yeah. So we got a great show for you tonight. Got some paranormal investigators from Task Force Paranormal and Heather from the Scream Chamber. We'll be talking about some spooky stuff. Oh, yeah.
Be doing all the spooky stuff tonight. So, I want to thank everybody for coming on and being a part of the show. Everybody on Podbean, everybody on Spreaker, everybody on the website at paranormal411.org. Remember, sign up, become a member. It's free. Doesn't cost anything, right, Jason?
Yep, totally free.
Free's good.
If you want to go over to the website and go to the live show and chat, you can do that. We'll be in there chatting.
Yes. All kinds of fun stuff. Join us. This has been a fun week this week. Seems like it's taken a whole week to get here.
Oh, yeah. Usually does.
It does, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
It's sad. But, Friday the 13th, tonight, instead of doing, my normal...
This day in history. I'm going to do something a little bit different, talking about the unluckiness of number 13. All right.
Hey, that's my old one. Nice. So, today is May 13th, 2022, or Friday the 13th. And something just went bing. So, and there it goes again for some reason.
We're already getting paranormal.
We're getting paranormally. Here. So, unluckiness of the number 13. So, according to folklore and historian Donald Dossie, the unlucky nature of the number 13 originated with a Norse myth about 12 gods having a dinner party in Valhalla. The trickster god Loki, who was not invited, arrived as the 13th guest and arranged for Hor to shoot Balder with a mistletoe-tipped arrow. Balder died and the whole earth got dark. The whole earth mourned. It was a bad and unlucky day. This major event in Norse mythology caused the number 13 to be considered unlucky. Also, the superstition seems to relate to various things like the story of Jesus, the Last Supper, and the crucifixion, in which there were 13 individuals present in the upper room on the 13th of Nisan, Maundy Thursday, the night before his death on Good Friday. So those are just a couple of things about the unluckiness of the number 13 and Friday the 13th.
And then also you got the...
you also have...
Jason Voorhees.
Yes.
Well, yeah, I watched those when I was a kid. I was scared.
The thing that's different about those movies than any today was the things that happened in between.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. That's why the 80s were so great, I guess. Huh?
The 80s were.
Oh, look at that. We've got Darth Vader, Jeff Reagan in the chat room on paranormal411.org.
All right.
What's up, Darth Vader?
We also got David and Jason.
I don't know who those two guys are,
Yeah,
but they're
they're
here
crazy.
every week, man. Every week. I don't know. They're kind of like stalkerish or something. Jeff, I'm sorry. Also, I have not yet got the ads that you had made for us put into the system yet. So forgive me. I will get that done. I promise. But we will. Darth Vader, Jason, I am your father, it says. We're going to go take a quick break. We'll be back here in a minute, right?
Yeah, we'll be right back. Bringing on Kris Coppinger and Chris Galyon and Heather Garrison. Going to talk a little paranormal.
That's right. And remember, come over to paranormal411.org. Sign up, become a member. It's free. And you could also catch us on Facebook and on Twitter, both at Paranormal411.
And on YouTube.
And on YouTube, yes. We haven't never talked about our YouTube that often, so yeah, check us out. And
we do have over 1,000 followers on YouTube.
Woo, and that's after us deleting it and restarting it, huh?
Yeah.
That's not too bad. So remember, you're listening to Paranormal 411. Your hosts are Jason and David. We'll be back right after this quick break. Thanks for listening to the show. You can find us on Facebook and Twitter at Paranormal411. Join us on the website at paranormal411.org. It's free to sign up and become a member. All of our upcoming shows are on the guest and events page. You can also listen to past shows on the website as well. And if you like the show and want to support us, you can do that by becoming a premium member for only $2 a month. Thanks for listening to Paranormal 411. Join us.
In a world on the edge of oblivion, go to paranormal411.org for all of your paranormal, extraterrestrial, and cryptid needs. This is Jeff Reagan of the band Catalyst. Visit Paranormal 411. Click on our link on the right-hand side to listen to or purchase any of our albums on BandLab.
All right.
Right.
We are back.
That quick little break. Love that quick little break.
Quick little break.
Want to thank again the band Catalyst, Jeff Reagan, and all the awesome guys allow us to play their music. That's who that is. And like the commercial says, go to paranormal411.org and you can see their link over on the right-hand side. Click on it. You can play all their music and also purchase it there too. So definitely check them out. I also want to give a shout out to Legends and Lore Pizzeria in Madisonville.
Oh, yeah.
Awesome pizza. Eddie, the owner of the place.
Awesome wings.
Man, those wings are huge, aren't they? The biggest wings ever.
Yeah. That's ostrich wings.
I'm telling you.
Something.
They're definitely not little bitty wings, but they're good, and it's good food. And he does take pride in everything that he does, and he's a cool dude. He does Bigfoot investigations, paranormal investigations. He does it all, and he has tons of stories. So you could always go in there and ask him. He's happy to tell you a story. So do that at some time. So Jason,
yeah. All right.
Your turn.
My turn. Tonight, like I said, we've got Kris Coppinger and Chris Galyon. They'll be joining us along with Heather Garrison from the Screen Chamber. I'm not sure what she does there, but she's a part of it, and it's a great place to go. We've been there.
we did. We visited it last year.
And this year we're going to be at the Screen Fest. Is that what it is?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna have a
We're
booth
going to have
there.
a little booth there.
Yep.
So Chris and Chris are with Task Force Paranormal, and they're going to be talking about some of the investigations they do. So if you want to go ahead and bring them on.
Hello.
Hey. How you guys
How are
doing?
you? Doing good, you?
Yeah. Pretty good. Can't wait to hear some of the stories.
Yeah, and you know what always fascinates me is what got each and every one of you into the paranormal.
Okay, I'll go ahead and start with that one. Me and my dad, we have always been into it ever since I was a little kid. We'd go out and do like little mini investigations, just me and him. And when I got a little older, I actually had an experience where there was this hooded figure standing beside my bed, and I rolled over and I woke up and I looked up and seen him. And I started screaming, and my dad ran in the bedroom, and of course by the time he turns the light on, it's gone. So that's kind of one of the things that got me into it. I wanting to find out some more about this guy.
Well,
That's awesome. Was it like a shadow figure, or was it an actual
actually,
full body?
Yeah, he was all black, and he looked like your classic Grim Reaper,
Gotcha. Wow.
which was terrifying to me.
Yeah, that would be.
And my dad, he's a retired preacher, and he kept trying to get him out of the house. And eventually the house ended up burning down, and we moved away, and this guy must have stayed with the property because we haven't had any problems out of him since then.
wow.
That's crazy. I mean, I had things happen to me when I was a kid, and people in the church were always like, "Oh, it's a gift because you could see these things."
Mm-hmm.
And at the age of 3, you don't think it's a gift.
Oh, no.
I'm just saying, it's not a gift when you're 3 years old.
No.
And these things come and visit you every night at 3 o'clock in the morning, and I would run around the house screaming. And so I understand where you're coming from.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy. What's crazy about this is, doing what Jason and I do, you find so many people that have had that get into this field that have similar things happen to them as a child.
Oh yeah, I think a lot of it starts when you're a child.
Yeah. I know I'm not chalking this up to paranormal or nothing. It's probably my imagination. But the only time that I have seen anything, which probably wasn't paranormal, because I claim that I've never seen anything.
Mhm.
But I was probably 5 or 6 years old. I was in the bed, and I would look out in the hall, and I seen this shadow on the wall. But it was the shadow. I must have watched too many cartoons. It was a shadow of a man with a hat on, flipping a coin, like, "Hey, Bugsy, ready to blow this joint?" You see? And that's the only thing I ever seen.
Huh.
And it was probably just my imagination.
I don't think so, Jason.
I had to get a preacher to talk to me about the stuff I was scared of. I'd hear keys rattling everywhere, but I don't know. I just don't think I've ever seen anything. I do believe in it, though. I've seen it on the devices that we have and everything.
Well, that's really cool. I mean, and a lot of times, people tend not to believe children when they actually do see something.
Yeah, I was the devil because I kept my mom up all night because I was crying and going on. It was crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Stop being the devil, Jason.
The devil.
That's sad.
So, Kris Galyon.
Hello.
How did you get into it?
I guess teenage curiosity.
Curiosity.
Going around the graveyards and weird things going on around the house. Trying to figure out how a vacuum cleaner would start itself in the middle of the night. Stuff like that.
Oh, yeah.
So, was there one thing that stood out that made you really start going for it? Like, you could say it like almost a defining moment where you was like, this stuff is real.
Not really. It's more of curiosity. The way my brain works and tries to figure things out. So that's more or less what it is. I'm more the skeptic of the team, I guess you could put it that way.
That's what I was about to say. You're probably more.
Well, that's
you
good.
have
though.
to have the proof.
Well,
yeah,
it's good to have someone like that because it helps keep everybody grounded.
Yeah, and that's what the girls tell me is that it keeps them grounded, and I don't let them go off the deep end like a lot of people do.
Right. See, I'm not a runner, but I think it's, again, because I've seen these things since I was a kid. I've not seen anything since I was 5 years old that scared me anymore. So, but I can see these things. And and that's not something, until Jason and I really started doing this show, that really wasn't anything I ever told anybody either, because, and I even feel weird about saying it just because of the fact that you see so many people saying that they can see things or hear things or whatever, feel things, that it almost has become generic.
Right.
And then most people, even myself, when some people tell me that, I roll my eyes because I'm just like, okay, so I'm almost skeptical about the whole thing myself, and I can actually see it. So, and I do get these feelings a lot when I go into a place, but that wasn't never something that I told anybody until we started doing this show.
Yeah.
Because to me, it's like it's easy to say it, but if other people can't see it, feel it, or experience it in the same way you can, then there really isn't no reason to say it.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's kind of the way we do a lot of investigations. When we're doing an investigation, if it's just something we felt, we can't really turn it over as evidence.
Right. Well,
unless we have something to back it up.
Right. You want some corroborating evidence. You want 2 or 3 pieces of evidence that say, yeah, this is definitely possible that something happened.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, Heather, it's your turn.
Oh, goodness. So, well,
I've always been fascinated with the paranormal, but never really got into it as far as actually doing anything myself until we opened the Screen Chamber. I always watched the shows and thought it was really cool, the things that they would do and the evidence that they would find on TV. But I have learned that ghost hunting is not the same as it is on TV.
Yeah.
It's a little different.
Like this one show where you get possessed every show, every place you go, you're possessed.
A portal to hell every time you turn on the TV. Yeah. So once we got this place, my husband was very skeptic, and it was always my imagination. If I thought I saw something here, or had a weird feeling there, or whatever it may have been, or but I think he's a true believer now. Just too many unexplainable things that have happened to us personally. We run 32 security cameras through the house when we're in operation in October for our haunted attraction.
Wow.
That constantly run all year long, for security purposes and everything else. So we really got interested into watching the cameras. After something would happen to us or something we couldn't explain, we'd go back and watch cameras. And we've had several pieces that we've caught on those security cameras that were just unexplainable. We've showed them to different paranormal teams as they've come through to do investigations on their own, and nobody can really give us an explanation except it's just something paranormal there. So once we got in here and kind of started experiencing things ourselves, I guess that's when we really got into it. So it's been about 4 years now.
Wow.
I know the house, it is spooky. It's a spooky place.
It is a spooky place to be. It was built in 1826, so it's almost 200 years old. So there's been lots and lots of things happen and gone on in the house, and it's just, if walls could talk, as they say.
Yeah.
I think sometimes the paranormal experiences that you get are the walls trying to talk.
I think so too, but if the walls actually start talking, I'm done with ghost hunting.
No, that's when you really open it up.
Well, that's what Kris told me one time. We were doing an investigation and something happened, and I'm like, no, I'm done. He goes, why didn't you start talking back? Why didn't you ask it this? And I'm like, because it said my name. I was done.
So you've actually had intelligent responses to questions and stuff like that. Then,
yes, we have had some intelligent responses happen. We've had a little bit of everything go on. Kris is laughing at me now. He knows about an experience that we had in the cellar at one point, and he's over here making faces at me and laughing at me now.
Uh-oh. So what was this experience?
Was it spirit? What ghost thoughts? The Estes. So I had it was a new toy for us. We had just recently gotten one, and it was my first investigation with it. And so I was really excited to use it, of course, after, seeing how it worked and how everything operated. So we went throughout the house, and we went down to the cellar, and I sat down in the chair, had my blindfold on, had the headphones on, and it says, "Watch me, Heather."
Wow.
And when it said that, I slowly took the earphones off, and I said, does anybody else want a chance to listen? And I was trying to be cool about it, because I own the place, so I'm supposed to be used to this stuff, right? And so Steve looked at me, which is our in-house investigator here, and he said, what happened? And I said, nothing. I was just trying to give somebody else an opportunity, who wants to go next? And so one of the other girls in our group, she volunteered and sat down, and as soon as she put the headphones on, Kris said, "This what happened?" And I said, "It said my name." And I was like, "I'm done. I'm finished tonight."
That sounds like what happened to me when I got into this with David. We worked together for a long time, and he says, "You need to come over to the house." I think my house is haunted. We got some EVP recorders and some EMF meters, and after work went over there, and I sat in David's chair. The story is he's seen a little girl in an Easter dress on Easter.
Yeah, Easter night.
So I sat down in this chair, and every time I'd move the meter toward my knee, it would just go crazy. Like every time, and I moved it away, it wouldn't do anything. I put it back, it'd go crazy again. And I just said, "Are you sitting on my lap?" And the EVPs were recording too, and you can hear it when we played it back. It said, "Yes," like that. And after we played that back, I said, "Well, David, I got to go. I'll see you." I bet I didn't come back for 2 or 3 weeks.
It was 2 weeks before you came back.
It was
I didn't do another investigation for a few weeks after that. I was like, it's okay. I'll take a break for a little while.
It's hard for me to understand because it's been my whole life. I've lived with it. So
yeah, our first website was myhouseishaunted.com. That was when we started that.
Yeah, that's what before we started.
That's a good one.
Yeah, we kept it for a little bit. Then we transitioned to Project Dark Corona, which we were for 8 years.
Yeah,
and then coronavirus happened. And so it was cool before the coronavirus, but we had to change our name because, the coronavirus.
So I noticed that you guys have Task Force Paranormal's been. I watch your Facebook a lot. I see what you post, and you've been going to a lot of places.
Yeah, we try to stay busy as much as we can.
It's like, how in the world do they get from here to here so quick?
Yeah, it takes an awful lot of planning.
Drive a lot faster than Kris does. That's for sure.
So, can you tell us your latest investigation? What happened and stuff?
Okay, our last investigation was here a couple of weeks ago. A couple on the team, we went to Iowa. And we were in Iowa. We stayed at the Edinburgh Manor, and we stayed at the Villisca Axe Murder House, and we also stayed at Malvern Manor.
Wow.
But it was kind of a whirlwind trip. We also went to Nebraska over to see there's a haunted car over there, which was really cool.
Haunted car.
It's an ambulance that was built in 1970. It's a Cadillac ambulance, and it's had over 900 documented deaths in it.
Wow. Was it
of
pretty
course,
hot?
we had do what?
Was it pretty hot? Did you get to investigate it?
We didn't get to investigate it. They had it in their garage, but actually they said we were welcome to come investigate it any time we wanted to. But of course, it's a 17-hour drive, so
right.
We didn't get to investigate it, but hopefully we get to go back. We will.
Wow, that's fascinating.
So the Axe Murder House, I seen the pictures from that. Did you investigate it?
Yes, we actually spent the night in there and slept in the beds that they got murdered in. I mean, in the same room they got murdered in, not the exact beds, but.
Wow.
Actually got to see an apparition of a little boy, which was really awesome because we were in the kids' room and one of the other investigators saw it first, and she was looking out the hallway and she sees this gray mist that's in the shape of a face, and she said, "I see a little boy." And I was like, "I can't see it." Well, probably about 5 minutes later, I look back up in the same doorway, and it manifests right there in front of me. And all it was a head, see-through, gray. It was really cool.
Wow! Anytime you can see apparition, it's cool.
It is cool. It is, and it never gets old.
So,
And it's
go ahead.
It's something you don't get to see a lot, but when you do, man, it makes your life. It makes everything that you've done up to that point just come full circle.
Right. Well, I mean, it gives you some validation to what it is that you're trying to do.
It does. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
I think a lot of the times people start doing this is to get that feeling that there is something after, we move on to something else, instead of it just being, no, you're just gone. Ain't nothing there.
Right. I think that probably is one of the biggest questions most people have, right? It's what's after this? I don't think,
I think
it's all ghosts.
I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
I think my biggest question is, as far as the paranormal goes, because I know they're out there. I've seen them. I've heard them. I have their recordings. I know. But I wonder why sometimes our loved ones don't come back. My mom's passed away, and I think I would like to see her, but I'm not sure. I would want to think that she's went on and she's happy where she's at, but then part of the time I need to see her, not for validation, but sometimes I just need it.
Yeah.
And I know that's, people will ask me, they said, have you ever seen a loved one? And I'm like, no, I actually haven't. I mean,
yeah, I'm in the same boat as you, with my mom knowing that I could see these things. I did expect when she passed for her to visit me at least once, but she never did. Mm-hmm. Not one time.
No, mine hasn't either.
And so, but I just think that sometimes when people leave, they've completed, and they feel that they've completed, they've done what they need to do, and they don't think that they need to stay, or even give anybody that last, anything. And I do believe that's why sometimes you do, and sometimes things like that just don't happen.
I actually had something happen to me. We were investigating the Walking Horse Hotel down in Wartrace, Tennessee. Mm-hmm. And it's weird. My dad's 88 years old, and it's about a 3-hour drive from where we live. So the whole time I'm on my way down there, I'm trying to get a hold of my dad on the phone. He's not answering. Of course, he's 88. The worst always goes through your mind.
Right.
So I get down there, and we actually start the investigation because my dad has been known in the past to not hang the phone up correctly. So I'm trying to give him the benefit of the doubt. So the longer I sit there and try to investigate, my mind's not really in it, but there's 3 of us sitting around in a circle, and we're using, the name just absolutely is escaping me right now. We're using, that's terrible. I can't even think the name of the piece of equipment we were using. Anyway, I'm just going to say we were using a piece of equipment that you can probably help me out with this, because I'm just drawing a complete blank. The one that the word will come up on the screen for you. Ovulus. There you go.
Ovulus, yeah.
Yeah, we were using an Ovulus, and I looked over at one of the other investigators while we were using this Ovulus. The Ovulus is sitting in the middle of the floor, and we're sitting around the circle. And I said, I think something's really happened to my dad this time. And at that time, the Ovulus said, Faye Surprise. My mom's name was Faye. It said, Faye Surprise, and instantly the phone rang, and it was my dad.
Wow.
I have to chalk that up to paranormal. I have to. That was her getting in contact with my dad and letting him know. And he had let the phone go dead.
Wow.
Which to me, that was such an amazing experience. I mean, I cried. Because I do know it was her.
Wow, that's something. See, so you did have something that happened to you.
I did, and like I said, my dad, he's real My dad is real religious, like I said, and he tells me that I don't see my mom because she doesn't think I can handle it, which makes sense. So.
Yeah, it does make sense. I had my mom passed away about 7 years ago, and before she passed, she bought my kids this swing set. And my mama loved butterflies. Okay. So I'm out there putting a swing set together. And when I got it put together, there was butterflies all over that place.
Aww.
It was crazy.
So you've had an experience.
Yeah. But I've never seen nothing. I've never seen a ghost really.
But that's still an experience.
That's an amazing experience, actually.
Yeah. I mean, that's crazy.
It was pretty, what would you call it?
How did it make you feel?
All warm and fuzzy inside.
There you go. So she conveyed to you what she wanted.
Yeah.
She was there watching over you. That's awesome. That's good. I like that. Look at this. I love conversations. So what else happened while you was there?
While we're at the walking horse?
The last one that we was talking about before.
Axe murder.
The axe murder house.
Oh, the axe murder house.
Yeah.
Well, I've not went over my evidence or anything, but one of the other girls, she does the blast sessions on her cell phone for the EVPs, and she did catch a couple of EVPs of a little boy, and she did catch an EVP of a female saying, "Help me," that was in the parents' room.
Wow.
Which was really cool.
The little boy just goes right with what you saw too, so.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, because the voice, when they done it, was during the time frame we had actually seen the little boy. So there was your evidence to back you up right there that what you seen was real.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
It was a long drive, but the trip was definitely worth it.
Yeah, I'm a truck driver by trade, so, I could do 700 miles in my 11-hour day that I get to drive by law. We'll bring that up by law. But the 700 miles I get to drive a day, and so, when I see just 16 hours or something like that, I'm just like, that's not bad.
Back when I was younger, it wasn't bad.
I understand. Before I ever started driving, I think I drove back and forth from East Tennessee to California like 4 or 5 times.
You actually moved out there, right? When you was 18?
18. I'm
homeless. Moved out there, become a little actor.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah. Still have my headshots. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I was homeless for a year. One whole year I was homeless. But yeah, it was 18, dumb, and
I'm going to Disneyland.
took my last paycheck like I thought it was going to take me somewhere, and it barely got me to California. On today's gas prices, I probably wouldn't even get a quarter of the way. I'd have been homeless somewhere else. But I probably wouldn't have made it to Texas.
So we're going to take a quick break and play a few commercials and stuff, so we got to pay the bills here. But when we come back, we can talk about the screen chamber. I know yins have done a lot of investigating there.
Sure have.
And you can tell us some of the things you've caught, and then Heather can tell us, what the screen chamber is all about and their prices and what you can do there.
When they open up?
Yeah. That's
Sounds
okay.
like a plan.
All right.
Oh, yeah.
So we're going to take a quick break.
We'll be back here in just a couple minutes.
All right.
All right. Remember, you're listening to Paranormal 411, come over to paranormal411.org, sign up, become a member. It's free. It doesn't cost anything, right, Jason?
Yep. It's free.
Right now we are live on Spreaker and on Podbean, but you could also come to our website and check us out in the chat room there. And we have a few people.
Also, it'll be pulled up as a podcast. You can listen to it on about any platform that you like.
Yes, whatever platform it is, we're on it. Even Audible, we're there. But yeah, stay tuned. This is Jason and David, and we'll be back here in just a couple seconds.
This is Jeff Reagan of the band Catalyst. Visit Paranormal 411. Click on our link on the right-hand side to listen to or purchase any of our albums on BandLab.
Thanks for listening to the show. You can find us on Facebook and Twitter at Paranormal411. Join us on the website at paranormal411.org. It's free to sign up and become a member. All of our upcoming shows are on the guest and events page. You can also listen to past shows on the website as well. And if you like the show and want to support us, you can do that by becoming a premium member for only $2 a month. Thanks for listening to Paranormal 411. Join us.
In a world on the edge of oblivion, go to paranormal411.org for all of your paranormal, extraterrestrial, and cryptid needs.
All right, we're back.
All right. Again.
Quick little break.
Yeah, that was nice.
For those of you just joining us, we're talking with Kris Coppinger, Chris Galyon from Task Force Paranormal, and Heather Garrison from the Scream Chamber in Athens, Tennessee.
You know, we need to get like a scream on here.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's something we don't have on our soundboard, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I bet you she could do a good one for you.
Oh, that'd be nice. Have you heard that one before? Have you heard her scream? Take off running.
I haven't. I'd like to, though. Wait till later. Maybe.
Maybe we'll get to hear her scream at Scream Fest.
Maybe we should have like a scream queen contest or something.
Yeah,
there
that
you
would
go.
be good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we did the Bigfoot howling contest one year. That didn't go over real well.
No. With people up there going, so
Did Matt Sieber win that one?
He was the judge.
Oh, he was.
Yeah.
Matt Sieber's a good friend of ours. He was on our very first show.
He was our very first guest.
our very
ever.
first guest.
In 2012.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. It was funny because, you know, we were pretty new, and what was funny was like, oh, we got our first live guest. Oh my God. You know, it's hilarious. Now we've done well over 200 shows, and
Well, we've done more than that. It's just 200 we have on the line now.
that's right. Yeah, that's what I said. Well over 200.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, let's talk about the Scream Chamber.
What do you want to know about the Scream Chamber?
Everything.
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 Spill the beans.
Ooh. All right. So, well, we started the Scream Chamber about 4 years ago, and it has grown over the past few years into a top-rated attraction here in Tennessee. We're very proud of it. It actually started as a first-grade Halloween party in my basement.
Oh, wow.
That's how it started. First year, we had about 20 kids and some parents. And then the next year, it grew. We had over 125 kids and parents. And then we held over for a weekend because, you know what, we put a lot of work and a lot of effort into this just to tear it down after one night. So we held over to the next weekend. We made a couple Facebook posts, and we had over 100 people show up at our house to walk through our basement at this free haunted house. So we had tons of people telling us that, hey, you know, we went down and went through other haunts, and this one is just as good, if not better, and it's in your basement. So that got the wheels turning and rolling, and finally found this place. And it was, needless to say, it was a disaster when we first took over. No floors. It's just, it had been empty for, like 34 years, maybe.
Wow.
Almost 40 years, yeah. So it needed a lot of work, a lot of tender love and care, a lot of time inside the walls with nothing but you and the ghost. And that was a real treat, let me tell you. Especially for somebody that wasn't used to that type of thing. So that's how we got started. And this will be our 4th year in business. And it has just, like I said, grown and grown each year. And we are looking forward to doing Scream Fest in October. It's going to be October the 1st this year. We've got several paranormal teams already signed up. We've got some tarot card readers, a medium. We've got craft vendors. We've got
Aura photography.
Yeah, aura photography. We've got a ton of different people signed up already. So if anybody's out there and would like to join us this year at Scream Fest, just let us know. We'd love to get you signed up.
Yeah, we're actually going to be there this year. We got us a booth.
Hey, I can't wait to see you guys again this year.
It's going to be fun. We had a great time last year. Me and the wife, I have to say that we got our cards read. My wife went to get her cards read, but I was standing next to her, and I knew I should have left, and I didn't. But I'll just say that I think that my aura and everything is so just woof out there that the cards actually pulled for me, not for my wife.
Oh, really?
Yes, and it happens a lot. We do card readings here at the house, and she can't read for herself or anything if I'm around. They always pop up for me. So I felt bad because we paid for it. So I was like, I'll walk away and let you do it again. She's like, nah. So maybe this year I won't be around and she'll be able to go get her cards read, right? But it was actually a really great experience. There's a lot of stuff to do, and the walk in around the house and everything, and the history was awesome. It was fantastic.
Good. I'm glad you guys had a good time. We'll have Kris keep you occupied so your wife can get her cards read this year.
She would probably appreciate that.
He's a big talker.
Yep, because he's such a big talker. Now, we offer paranormal investigations, the overnight stays throughout the year as well. We've had several already this year. Most of them sold out pretty quickly. We have one tonight, we have one tomorrow, and we have one next Saturday scheduled. And that's going to be our last overnights that we're scheduling until after October.
Wow.
We have to have time to get in the house and get everything ready for, all the changes that have to be made for the haunt and different things there. And don't want people running in and out in the dark with all the construction going on. So we're going to have to put a halt on it until after October.
And how can they reach you on the website to book those?
Absolutely. You can message us through the website, or you can find us on Facebook or Instagram, send us a message. Our email is listed on our website as well as my direct phone number.
Awesome. Yeah. Jason and I have thought about doing it at some point.
Yeah, I would love to have you guys out.
Next week, I'm going to be indisposed. I'm going to be in Townsend next week, and it's the Scots Irish Festival, and I go to it every year. I can't miss it.
That sounds fun.
It's awesome. I love wearing my kilt, and it gives me a reason to wear it and people not to look at me funny, even though they still do. But it's okay.
It's okay.
Yeah, it's taking pride in your heritage, So,
So we've got just a few more minutes before the hour's up. You want to tell us, Kris, some of the things that's happened while you're investigating down there at the Scream Chamber? Hello? Hey.
Sorry, we were debating. We were looking at each other.
You're like,
start telling the story.
Who's first?
We hadn't heard Mr. Kris, talk a lot yet. Let's hear his stories.
Especially from a skeptical standpoint.
Yeah.
Well, the first time we came down here, we were upstairs, and it was actually the area where Samuel Clegg's bedroom was, and we were all sitting in there, and we were about to do an EVP session, and I had left my voice recorder across the room on the table, and I got up and walked across the room, picked up my voice recorder, hadn't even turned it on yet, got almost back to where I was sitting, heard this little whisper in my ear. Can't tell you what it said, but there was a definite whisper. And I just kind of stopped in my tracks and started asking everybody if they heard that or if they whispered. So everybody said no, and I can't explain where that came from. I tried, but I just can't explain it. And I've had a little tickle on my arm. I thought a spider was climbing up my arm, and they weren't no spider. So that was a little weird, but yeah, that's kind of a couple of things that have happened to me.
And then the mist.
The mist.
Oh, the mist.
Yeah, you're better to tell that one. That was.
They were here investigating. I think it was the first time you guys were here, right?
Yeah.
And we have what we call the search team at that point. And they were in there. They were trying to get, of course, something going and trying to communicate with something and get it started, but nothing was really happening. And they had left a flashlight on top of a casket that we had in that room. So I was upstairs with my husband, and we were watching them on camera. And they decided to leave the room. So I was waiting to see which room they went to next so I could minimize and then bring up the new room. And as soon as I got ready to click to minimize, I saw the flashlight come on. And I thought, well, that's interesting. And then a few seconds later, it was probably 5-6 seconds later, the flashlight goes off. And then something happens out of the wall. It just, this mist, I don't even know how to explain it except say a mist comes out of the wall and seems to expand as it floats over top of the pews and disappears at the back side of the pews into thin air. And so, of course, I jumped on the walkie-talkie and I said, hey, Steve, you need to get them back in the church room. You need to go back and see what's going on. And they went back. Nothing was happening. So they came up and seen it on camera, tried to debunk and see what they could figure out. But none of us could figure out any possible way that could have happened. But it was really cool because you have the flashlight come on, the flashlight go off, and then the mist come through the room.
Wow. That's awesome.
Yeah, it was a really cool piece of evidence. That's one that we show usually at any overnights we do. If they want to see previous evidence, that's one that we show.
Yeah, we're going to have to come down there and camp out one night.
It'd be fun.
We had I think it's a really cool thing we had happen. We had an individual, I call it an individual investigation. It was just several different individuals that came. Some of them knew each other, some didn't. We all got familiar with each other. And at one point, me and a friend of mine and 2 other people that were in a different group went down to the cellar to investigate. We get down there and they ask one of the ladies, after a little bit of communicating or trying to communicate, she says, hi, my name's Kim and I'm 36. How old are you? Of course, we get nothing, but we've got a digital recorder going. We step over to another room and Misty says, can you finish this rap for me? And you hear, and then the guy with us, Marlon goes, crap your pants if something knocked back, wouldn't you? So we all laughed. And, we had a good laugh about it. Well, about 3:00 that morning, we go upstairs and Steve, he's not tired. He could go all night long on those things. But we're all kind of settling down and just laying back. And he puts it on the digital recorder on his amplified speaker. We get down to the cellar, the part where we're in the cellar, and Kim says, my name's Kim. I'm 36. How old are you? And plain as day, you hear a kid say, 10.
Wow.
And we're like, what? What? Rewind that. So after about the 50th time, we decided, yep, that's exactly what that was. And we go on to the rapping part when Misty said, can you finish this rap for me? And she knocks. And in the background, you hear. And then you hear Marlon with his comment, and we all start laughing because, of course, none of us heard that. What I think is so cool about that is that happened in February. It's been a couple years ago, but it was in February. And in May, I have two of my actors start texting me, and they were super excited because they were not at that event that night. Didn't know anything about it. Hadn't talked to them since our last event. And they had went to put flowers on her grandmother's grave. Well, in the cemetery, they happened to run across David and Martha Clegg's tombstone, which was, they owned the house after Samuel had passed away. It was handed down to David. Well, they were taking pictures of their tombstones and just thinking it was really cool because of the history of the house and the connection and everything. And they send me another picture, and I'm looking at it. And it just happens to be John B. Clegg, which was David's son. His date of birth was September the 27th, which was the day we first opened the Scream Chamber. That was our very first day we had ever opened. And his date of death showed he was 10 years old when he passed away.
Oh, wow.
It was like, that was kind of super cool, I thought.
That's awesome.
Yes.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That's one of my favorites there.
That's awesome. I like that. Those are the kind of stories I really like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have y'all ever had anything that was kind of spooky that happened? Anything that kind of caught you off guard was like, whoa. Badly.
How long do we have?
As long as
y'all want to talk.
Talking.
As long as y'all want to talk, we're on.
The only thing, I mean, there has been one time in this house that I have been honestly so scared that I literally cried. My husband will even tell you, he's like, I've seen her get freaked out, spooked a little bit, but I have never seen her cry until that day here in the house. But it was, we were out in the back part and we were doing some work, and it was just he and I here. And I went to pick up a tool for him, and I set it up in this little window we have. I walked around and I reached to grab the tool. And when I did, I saw what I thought was my husband, but it was just like a black streak. It almost looked as if it was crouched over, like bent over, sneaking, but running. And I thought it was him, trying to sneak up and scare me. And so, of course, I yelled at him and I said, "Hey, you're not going to scare me. I saw you." So I turned and I looked down the other aisle, and he's not coming. And I looked back through the window, and he's not there either. And so I thought, okay, he's fixing to scare me. And I hear something at the end to my left, down at the other end of the hall. And I look, and he's down there doing some stuff. And I thought, there is absolutely no way that he ran past that window to my right, going in the right side direction. Me look to the right, and then look back, and then him be all the way at the end of that hall. But whatever it was seemed to move with intent, is the best way I can describe it. And it did not seem to have good intentions. It freaked me out so bad. I told him, I was like, look, we're done. We have to go. I've got to get out of here. I can't stay here anymore. We've got to go. And we left and didn't come back till the next day. But I've never had that happen again. But that was one thing that freaked me out. I will not go to the back side of the house by myself.
I was kind of wondering about that because when I had it in mind, I remember the story, and we only went through it once, so forgive me if I'm not exactly right. But the lady that worked in the kitchen that killed the soldiers and all that stuff,
yeah.
I would just get maybe that she would be pretty protective.
Yes, I could see her being very protective, of course, of the family and the home and all of that. Mm-hmm. But I don't think that's what that was back there. It just, we've had other teams that have came in that have felt very uncomfortable in that area. Mm-hmm. And of course, it was after my personal experience, which made me feel that I was validated in what I saw and how I felt. Because when you have people that do this, professionally, they come out and they pretty much tell you the same things that you've already seen, and tell you that they feel the same way that you felt at a particular time. It just, I don't know, it just really brought validation, and it let me know I'm not going back there by myself.
Well, you got anything else?
Oh, we got tons of stuff.
There was one thing we wanted to ask about is the tree outside. Is it still there? The hanging tree is what I think they called it.
Well, it's funny you said that because that's what I was going to tell you about. So the area where I saw that black shadow, whatever it was right near the tree. It would have ran right in front of the tree. So we had a group come out one day, and, you said yourself that you were kind of skeptic when people would say they could hear or see or feel things. And I'm the same way. I mean, but once you show me that you're legit, then I have no doubt that that's what you see or that's what you hear or whatever, feel. But this lady came out with this group, and she says she's a medium, and I always take it with a grain of salt. And, she mentioned a couple of things in the house, and I was like, okay, that's no big deal. She may have saw the picture when she walked by or whatever. We get to one particular hallway out there, and she whispers to one of her team members, and she says, there's definitely kids out here. I can feel them. Well, what was cool about that to me was I had two actors the very first year we were open, and they both complained about this, not really complained, but they didn't particularly like their scene because they kept seeing a little boy running around out in that area. The boy that worked for us, he called up one night and quit over the radio. He's like, I can't do this anymore. I got to go. I got to get out of here. He says, there's a kid back here, and he just asked me if I saw his red ball, if I knew where his red ball was. And he's like, I turn around, and there's no kid there. I got to go. So both of those had told us that, there was a little boy out there that liked to play with a red ball. And then, of course, when we switch actors in and out and have to move them around, we had a couple others had said the same thing. But when she came in not knowing anything about it and said that, I thought, okay, she may have something going on here. We walked back to a different area. We call it our butcher scene. We walked back to that area, and she stopped, and she says, hold on. And she starts grabbing her throat, and she's kind of gasping a little bit. And she said, has somebody been hung in this area? And I just kind of shoot a quick look at my husband, and he just looks at me, and I said, do you want to know, or you just, he's like, no, I'm telling you, there's been several people hung here. She said, I can feel the noose tightening around my neck. And when she said that, I just kind of smiled, and I said, well, right behind this wall is what we always refer to as a hanging tree, because it's been there for so long. It's so large. And the limbs on this tree are just so massive that my husband was talking one day, and he's like, I wonder, being back in that time period, in that era, I wonder if people were actually hung from this particular tree. And for her to say that just, I thought, okay, this lady's real. This lady knows what she's talking about. But so that did happen. And it was in that area, anywhere usually around that tree is where people feel very uncomfortable, and not a pleasant place to be.
I remember when we was taking the tour, and there was different parts, and there was, everybody was, they was talking about what happened in certain parts, and things that have been seen and stuff like that. And, I was, sometimes you just have a feeling about certain things. And, and so, I told Jason back then, I was like, at some point we're going to have to come here. At some point we'll have to come here. It's raised my curiosity. That's
good.
Sure. Yeah.
We'd love to have you guys out anytime. Just let us know what your schedule's like.
Yeah, we'll definitely be down there at one point.
Yeah.
Can you record in there? Like, in some places, I know you can, but.
Well, in some places you've got free reign upstairs, and downstairs in the cellar. You can take photographs, you can video, record. The only thing that we ask when teams come in is that you don't post any evidence that gives away our haunt scenes.
Gotcha.
If you have close-ups, if you can blow it up and show evidence and stuff, we're okay with that. We just don't want pictures of our entire scenes getting out. Because why pay to come to a haunted house if I can see everything you got from the picture?
Makes sense.
So that's the only thing that we ask.
All right.
So, any other good stories? I'm a story guy. I love stories. That's that's my thing. It's funny how throughout the ages, the storytellers and the stories themselves, it's a connection to something, and stories like this is a connection to this place, and so when I hear good stories, especially, they don't all have to be paranormal, because, I'm sure that you go in there and there's days that nothing happens, and then there's days that all kinds of stuff happens,
Oh yeah.
And
there's days that I will literally walk up to the door to unlock and go grab something, and I'll go in and I'll be just fine. I'll go grab what I need and come back out, and everything's great. And there's days I go up and don't even put the key in the door, and I say, not today. Today is not the day to be in there. So no.
So and owning this, you have started feeling when things may be more active than other times in.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And there's times like I'll go with yesterday. We had an event tonight, which was the Lights On No Scare Tour. And yesterday, my husband and I were here doing some work and things, and he was outside and asked me to come in and pick something up for him. So I went inside, and it was fine. And I started coming down the stairs, and I just got this overwhelming feeling. Don't know what it was. Didn't stop to ask what it was. But I started treating them almost like children. And I'll say, look, I'm not in the mood today. You have to leave me alone today. There's people coming tomorrow. You can bother them all you want, but today you have to leave me alone.
I'll tell you.
And usually, as weird as it sounds, but usually if I do that, then they're fine.
Well, I'll tell you, throughout the time that I've, been able to see these things and interact in certain ways with them, that's when Jason talked about the house that I had that was haunted. And I saw the little girl, and her and I had a game we would play almost every single Saturday morning. So I'd wake up before the rest of the people in the house. I'd turn on the TV, and I would turn on the surround sound system. Turn it on really low, right? So it didn't wake everybody up. And I would have the remote control in my hand, and all of a sudden it would go to max, which the only way to do that is to turn the little knob on the surround sound system itself. And so it would go to max. Well, I would sit there and turn it down, and then it would go to max again. And I would play this game. It was almost on a weekend basis, and probably play this game for 5 or 6, 7 minutes. And then I'd finally be like, okay, we got to stop. We're going to wake everybody up. And it would stop. It was done. The same thing happened when Jason, was having the EMF detector go over his knee. And after a little bit, I was like, okay, all right, we're done. You could leave now. And as soon as I said that, no more readings. It was gone, just completely gone. It was gone. And then that's what made us go outside and start listening to the EVPs. And so, when you said that, it was funny because that's something that I've noticed, throughout my life, is that if you interact with them and you actually say, look, okay, I'm done. We're done for right now. And they usually always listen.
Yeah. It's funny that you say that too, but, sometimes I'll come in, and if it's the day of an investigation or something, and I know if anybody heard me, they would absolutely think I'm nuts, that I'm crazy.
You're talking to yourself?
Yeah, because I'll go in and I'll just sit at the stairs, or I'll just go into one of the rooms and I'll just start talking, and I'll say stuff like, okay, so Task Force Paranormal's coming in tonight, and they've got a lot of different people that want to see you and interact with you. So you give them a good show tonight, okay? And you show them that you're here, you play with them, and whatever you want to do. And usually if I do that, I have good reports the next day of oh yeah, this happened or that happened, and it's just interesting.
Yeah, and that I feel that that's a sign of an intelligent haunting. Something you could literally talk with and understand you, and is okay with the boundaries that you're able to set. And I think that's important, is to set those boundaries and say, look, when people are here investigating, doing whatever it is that they're doing, they're wanting you to interact with them. But there's times I come in here, I really don't want you to interact with me, so don't. And usually when you set those boundaries, again, I've always found that it usually happens.
And here on this property, to me, it's different. There's a total different feel inside the house than outside in the addition part. Mm-hmm. To me, it seems like the house is more calm and playful and interactive, and the outside part seems more, it's just darker. It's just
not evil, but just darker.
Yeah, not evil. Just it's heavier. Mm-hmm. It's darker, I guess is the best way to describe it. You just don't really know what's going to happen out there. It's not very playful or interactive or perfect example. We had a session a few weeks ago. We had a birthday party, and these girls were here for their friend's birthday, and they were spending the night doing an investigation. And Steve and I had split up, and he took several people, or a few people with him down to the cellar. And I took these young ladies with me. We ended up outside in the back area. Now, I'm okay if I've got people with me and I can outrun them. As long as I'm faster than they are, I'm okay. But we go outside and we're sitting in this one area, and I let them choose where they wanted to go. And we set a flashlight down on the table, and we all just kind of sat down and got comfortable and was trying to interact and talk. And we were out there for probably a good 10 minutes, and just nothing was happening. Pardon the pun, but it was just dead that night. There was nothing going on. And so I asked the girls, I said, y'all want to go back inside? Maybe we can go to the kitchen, see if anything's in there, if it's more active. And they're like, yeah, that's fine. Let's go in there. So I stood up and I said, okay. I said, well, if you don't want to interact with us tonight, that's fine. We're going to leave, and we're going to go to the kitchen area. You have a good night. And I said, but I'm going to give you till the count of 3. If you want us to stay, turn the flashlight on. If you want us to go, then just leave it off. And I counted, and I said 1, 2. By the time I said 3, the flashlight came on. That was the first interaction that we had out there.
Wow.
So the girls were really impressed, and they're like, oh my gosh, that's so cool. Let's stay. And they all sat back down, and I sat back down, and we talked, tried to communicate for a few more minutes. And it just dim, and out. I mean, it didn't stay on, not even 30 seconds probably. And so then nothing. I mean, we're out there another 5 minutes and nothing's going on. So the girls are like, okay. I said, well, let's just go in. I said, maybe that was just a fluke and, nothing's really here or whatever. So I said, okay. I said, we're going to go. You're not being responsive. We're leaving. Count to 3. We're out. 1, 2, 3. Flashlight comes back on. And so one of the girls in our group, she said, I'm so tired. She's like, I am just all of a sudden feel like I have absolutely no energy. Mm-hmm. And she's sitting on the floor and she slumped over on her friend. And I just started getting this weird feeling that, something is here, but it's not here to communicate with us.
Yeah. It's feeding.
So we just kept, I was like, girls, I think it's time for us to go. And they were like, yeah, well, I think it's time to go too. And so I got up, grabbed the equipment, and we started to walk around the corner. And when I walked around the corner, it was like I hit a cloud of something nasty. I mean, it was just a horrible smell. And I stopped and I said, oh my God. I said, do you smell that? And the two girls behind me were like, yeah, I smell something. And, I don't smell it real strong right now, but I do smell something. And the ones behind them couldn't smell anything. But I mean, it was like as quick as it was there, it was gone. And we walked into the house and I asked them, I was like, do you guys want to take a break for a minute? And they said, yeah, let's go outside, just get something to drink. So we walked outside and immediately before we hit the door, the girl that was feeling drained and tired was in tears. I mean, just hysterical tears. She just couldn't control her emotions. She was all over the place and refused to come back inside the house.
Wow.
So, yes, calls her mother at 1:00 in the morning, leaves her car in the parking lot. Her mom has to come out and pick her up.
Come get me.
But that is not the first time that's happened either.
That's funny. So,
yeah,
have you had investigators that couldn't stay the full time? That was like just that's enough. I'm done, and leave early.
Not paranormal teams. Usually, we've had people that are with the group. Maybe a couple have cut out a little early. They were done. They just couldn't handle anymore. But for the most part, most people stay. I would say we've probably had 10 or 12 that just couldn't do it anymore and had to walk away.
That's still quite a bit, though.
No,
in 4 years. I mean,
yeah. But I mean, we didn't even start doing these till 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, that's still quite a bit.
Yeah.
So.
Wow. That's something. I mean, I don't know. I think a lot of people see it on TV, kind of like you was talking about earlier. It's not the same as what you see on TV, and they think, "Oh, this is cool. This is awesome. I want to go be part of this and try to do this." And then they actually start getting intelligent responses or anything that they think of as intelligent responses, and they're like, this is not what I thought it would be. Let's go.
Not all fun when you get rushed.
Right. Yeah.
That's happened back in the back part before too. Steve's wife and I, Misty, we were back there and we were walking through with the group or something. And I mean, usually we hold our composure pretty well. But I don't know what it was. It just felt like something was there in the corner and all of a sudden just rushed us from behind. And we both took off running and screaming like little girls. And when we finally got to the end of that hallway, we both stopped and just looked at each other and was like, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry." And she's like, "No, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to." And I was like, "What did you feel? What happened with you?" And she's like, "I felt like somebody was running up behind me." And I said, "I had the exact same feeling." I mean, it was just weird that we both had the same experience at the same time.
That fight or flight kicked in, and that was it.
Oh yeah, we was both plotting big time. And at the end of the day, you're kind of embarrassed that you chose that route. Because we had people with us that were in front of us. We were like, I was ready to knock them down to get out of it.
A lot of people don't realize, though, that, that fight or flight is an instinct. It's not something that you do that you do wanting to. It's written in our DNA. You do one or you do the other, and you do it.
Exactly.
And so it's not, you can't say, oh, someone's a chicken or it's literally something written in your DNA. It happens. So, yeah.
And sometimes it's not the fact that you're a chicken. It's just the surprise element that pulled on you.
Exactly.
You're like, whoa.
That's right. Yeah. I don't think it has anything to do with being a chicken or whatever. It's just that fight or flight instinct is something you can't get over. You do one or the other, and that's it. It's part of the makeup.
It is.
That's awesome. That's crazy. So y'all had, since you've been open in 4 years, y'all have had quite a bit of stuff happening then.
Yeah, we've had quite a bit happening. I mean, to me, it doesn't seem like, I probably downplay a lot of it because you guys are used to going out and I guess expecting you guys to have had bigger and more experiences and things like that. And maybe our experiences just aren't as comparable. But when you're here every single day, you just kind of get used to some of those things,
Yeah.
And it's crazy because you can go to like a huge, well-known location and get nothing. And then you go to one of these smaller locations and it's crazy.
My favorite time, though, I think, investigating with Chris Galyon, we were back there in that back area and, and I just kept telling him, look, I feel like there's something back here because I just get the heebie-jeebies. I'm not comfortable back here. I'm telling you, for some reason, I'm just not comfortable. And he's like, sis, you're fine. You're fine. Well, I kept telling him, I'm like, I'm fine as long as I'm not standing in this one certain area. Now, if I go inside the door or if I go away from it, I'm fine. But this one area right here, I do not like for some reason. And he keeps saying, sis, it's just in your head. It's just in your head. You're fine. Well, about that time, the REM pod at the end of the hallway starts going off.
Oh.
So he comes out and he's starting to look, it quits. He comes back in. REM pod starts going off again. He comes back out and his eyes get big and he starts looking around and he's like, He starts real quiet, because he's skeptic. He walks up and he starts looking. He comes back in. He has this look on his face. He goes, I think I just saw my first shadow person. I said, I told you I didn't feel comfortable out here. I told you.
That's funny.
So, yeah, it's a hoot. It's fun investigating with these guys and learning techniques and how things, are done and different ways of doing things. And we always have a good time when they come out and investigate with us.
Yeah, that's awesome. Jason and I together have only been on very few investigations. My time is, because I'm a truck driver, so my time is I'm hardly ever home. I get to be home maybe a day and a half a week if I'm lucky. So I would like to do more, and I haven't got to in a long time. So I'm gonna have to start making time for it. Yeah.
Yeah, you're gonna have to definitely make a weekend plan to come out here and visit with us.
Yeah, Jason and I'll have to get in contact with y'all and try to do that sometime, because that'd be fun.
Yeah.
That sounds good.
I'm excited about that.
So if you want to go ahead, both of you or all three of you give out all your information and stuff where people can find you and know.
Well, I'll start on that with thescreamchamber.com. So we have our own website. Like I said, it's thescreamchamber.com. If you want to email us directly, just send us a quick message. It is thescreamchamber@gmail.com. So we keep that pretty simple. We have a Facebook page, which you can find it under The Scream Chamber. Shoot us a private message there. Go on Facebook, like our page, follow us. That way you can stay updated on all the events that we've got coming up this summer and this fall. And of course, we have our phone number and everything listed there in our contacts on the website. So if you need to get in touch with us, just give us a call or shoot us a message. We'd love to hear from you guys.
That's good. You know, that was like a commercial.
Yeah, we need to record that and play it.
Yeah. I was, while she was sitting there saying that, I was sitting there going, we need to get her either here where we've got our board, or
I could probably cut that out and copy it.
And we could put it as a commercial, because that would make a perfect commercial. That's perfect.
Well, thanks,
Yeah.
guys.
You can tell who does a lot of the live streams and stuff, can't you?
Right,
I mean,
yeah.
I was going to ask
they
that.
do it all the time.
I was going to ask that if she was the one that's on Facebook all the time with the promotions and stuff.
That's me. One of you guys earlier said Heather Garrison with the Scream Chamber. Not sure what she does there, and I was thinking, I really don't know what I do here either. a little bit of this, a little bit of that, but you know,
a little bit of everything. Yeah,
a little bit of everything.
Really, I didn't know that you owned it. I'm sorry.
Oh no, that's fine.
I'm just messing with you, but didn't know
My
we started
husband doesn't know that half the time either. He thinks he does, but you know.
he should know better. It's always the woman that knows.
Yeah.
20 years in, he should know better by now.
I'm telling you. I learned that a long time ago.
Oh, goodness.
My wife allows me to have a few things.
So, Task Force Paranormal, what do you got? What do you got going?
We have our Facebook page, which is Task Force Paranormal, and it's spelled kind of different. It's PAASCK Force Para is how you can look it up, which is when we originally started the team, it was each member's initials.
Oh,
which is why it felt so funny, because the way we try to run it is not one member of the team's more important than the other member. So we put all of our names in the logo.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And you can also do info@taskforcepara.com if you'd like to email us. We do not have a YouTube or anything like that yet. I'm not very tech savvy. So we just do the Facebook and the regular email.
do you do any Facebook Lives or anything like that?
We do try to. A lot of times we can't, depending on the location, because some locations can be a little hard to get service at.
Mm-hmm.
But we typically try to. And we also sometimes, like people that follow us on our Facebook page, if we're going to a location and we have some extra spots, we'll put it out there that if somebody would like to join us, that they can, because not everybody's a member of a team. You know, we weren't. And we loved doing this stuff, and we just figure it's our way of giving back to our followers by letting them join us sometimes.
That's awesome.
It is.
Yeah.
Hey guys, and just one more quick thing. We have a page. It's new, but it's called Plague House. And Steve Phillips, which, like I said, he's our in-house investigator, he keeps that page updated, and he started making some posts, more of the history and more of the paranormal side of it. So if you want to check that out, you can read up a little bit on, Samuel Clegg, the guy that built the house, and several, maybe his children, their bios, things like that. Steve's got posted on there, and he tries to post on there. He's going to start posting more frequently, but like I said, it's a new page, but it does gear more towards the paranormal side and the history side versus the haunted attraction.
Oh, that's cool. I'm a history.
Now, is that on Facebook or is that on?
It is.
Okay.
That's on Facebook. It's called Clegg House, the Clegg House. CLEAGE.
All right.
And I always think that her situation with with her location here is it is unique because it is a haunted house attraction that's actually inside of a real haunted house.
Mm-hmm.
It saves on payroll for all those actors too, you know.
Right. Have you ever had anybody go through it and be like, who is that one person in there? And it's not nobody that you have, it's actually a ghost.
Listen, so this happened like this week. Okay. We, since we're only open in October, really the month of October, and then a couple of days in February, we have started a shaved ice business here. So we've got tropical snow that we're running from our concession stand, and everybody gets to kind of come hang out in our midway area. We've got our table set up, cornhole. They can just come hang out and eat shaved ice for the summer, right? Mm-hmm. Okay. So I had a guy stop me the other day, and he's like, "Hey, do you know who that little kid belongs to?" And I said, "What little kid?" And he goes, "That little girl up on the front porch." He says, "She was waving at my little girl earlier, and she wanted to go play with her, but I told her she couldn't go in the house." And I just kind of looked at him, and I said, "Zach, there's no other kids here." I don't know what to talk about. He's like, "No, she's got on the little black dress. She was just standing on the porch." And I said, "Zach, I'm telling you, there's no other kids here." And just the look on his face was priceless.
See, that's the stuff I want to see.
Yes.
I can't. I never see it.
Well, we also had last October, we have a cornfield inside our attraction. We had a guy come out, and he told me, he's like, "Look, your costumes are just top notch." He's like, "Especially that soldier you got back there in the cornfield." And I said, "What soldier?" He said, "That Union soldier you've got back there." He's like, "I don't know why." He's like, "But I thought his belt buckle was so cool." He's like, "It was so shiny. It looked authentic." He's like, where did y'all find these costumes?" And I said, I said, "Are you sure it wasn't like a scarecrow guy back there?" He goes, "No." He said he had his hat, he had his musket, he had the belt, he had the buckle. He's like, "No, it was a soldier." I was like, "No, we don't have one back there." I said, "Now, we've got one that was in the kitchen tonight." He said, "No, I saw him." And he's like, his costume was good too, but it wasn't as authentic looking as the one out there. I'm sorry, dude. I don't know what you're talking about. We only have the one, and we got his costume off Amazon, so I don't know what you're talking about back there. But yeah, it was kind of cool, and just the look on their face when you tell them no. My cousin actually came through, and I asked him, I said, "Hey, Dylan," I said, "What was the scariest part when you guys went through?" He goes, "I don't know if it was the scariest part." He's like, "But that little girl that's out there," he's like, "right outside the butcher area, she's just standing there in the corner." And I just kind of looked at him real funny, and I was like, "What are you talking about?" And he's like, "She's a little African-American girl." He said, "She had her hair in pigtails. She just stands there." He said, I was waiting for her to like run at me or yell at me or something." He's like, "But she just stood there and stared at me." He's like, "It was creepy." And he said, "But it wasn't real scary, but it was just real creepy." And I said, "Dylan, I don't have any little girls that work here." And oh man, he got tore up, and he's like, "She was this tall, and her hair was in buns, pigtails, and she had a red and white polka dot dress." And I'm like, "Sorry, buddy." she was not part of the show.
You got a free look.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
That is a cool idea, though, for it. Just have somebody just sitting there staring.
Sitting there staring at her. I mean, she keeps showing up. I don't have to pay for that. I don't stand there.
Right.
But he's the only person that's ever described this little girl to me. And I don't know. I just thought it was kind of cool that, yeah, those things have happened. And when people come out and they're describing something that 100% was not in there, I was like, okay. And that's why I always put disclaimers on my stuff, like, "Lights on, no scare." Well, at least not from us anyway.
Can't guarantee.
Cannot guarantee. Touch pass, you have to sign a waiver. If you don't get the touch pass, we're not going to touch you, but I can't promise nothing else will.
That's awesome.
All right. Well, it's been great talking to you guys.
You too.
And we will have to maybe get a soundbite from you that we could play on our show.
Awesome. You just let me know what you need.
Jason,
Right.
you'll email her?
Yeah, I'll email her.
Yeah. Awesome. We'll email you.
That sounds
My
great.
people will talk to your people.
gmail.com.
My people will talk to your people, and we'll get back together.
That
Elizabeth
sounds great.
Elizabeth in the chat room said that I may have seen some. I just don't know it unless someone told me.
Well, I've already told you that.
Yeah.
I honestly believe you've had experiences. You just don't want to accept them. And it's okay. It'll come to you when
I
it
want
comes
to
to you.
be like, wow, and turn around and run.
No, you know what? When we go there, I want to chain you to me just so you can't run. It's not going to happen. There ain't going to be no running. We go forwards, not backwards.
Yeah, if you guys, Task Force Paranormal does have any openings, let us know. We'll see if we can go with you.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah.
'Cause
Info
it's just-
at paranormal411.org.
Yeah, it's just us two, and we just doing it for fun, really.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, we'd love to do that. Awesome.
We might bring our wives if they get, if you have enough room.
Okay, yeah.
My wife won't come. I'm just saying, my wife won't. She ain't gonna come. She's a little too sensitive to stuff like that, so she'll just tell you straight up, nope.
Nope, not happening.
Nope, ain't
I was
happening.
going to say, is she the Kris of your group?
Yeah, she's too sensitive to stuff. Like I want to go to what is that, the prison, the
Brushy
Mountain. Yeah, I want to go to Brush Mountain, but she won't go. And see, we need a woman with us because a woman will set it off.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. We had probably one of our best EVPs ever come from Brushy Mountain.
Did you see?
We did. There was actually 3 of us girls, and we were down in the hole.
Oh, Lord, no way.
And and one of them walked in the cell, and this EVP comes through, and because 2 of us were standing there debating on going in. One of them was already in the cell. And so we're standing there, do you want to go in there and sit down? Because it was a real small area. And this EVP, a man, comes back and said, get in the cell, girls.
Wow.
Oh,
yeah,
yes.
okay. That's not good.
I'm done. That's awesome. Yeah. I've done a lot of research on that place and I've come up with some places I think are some really good hot spots, but we will see.
Have you all went to the historic Scott County Jail?
No.
No,
Yeah.
we usually
Y'all look.
have just done, houses around here.
Yes.
We got one that posted up on YouTube. That's about all we really did as far as David's house and that one other house.
So you do more residentials and stuff most of the time?
Yeah. Yeah. We have a business here in Loudon that said we could do it. That's supposed to be very haunted. We've actually done a show on them once before.
Oh.
We've just not done it yet.
Oh, there's a couple places down there I would like to get into, but I've not had any luck. And that, that turns into a problem a lot of times because you run into a lot of people who have activity, but they don't want to talk about it.
Yes. Well, we happen to know the proprietors of this location, and they've told us we could come. We haven't had time to do it yet. What's the location, Jason?
The Carmichael.
The Carmichael Inn. Yeah, that's it. Here in Loudon.
Not sure I know where that's at.
Right. If you come through Loudon, when you go towards Lenore City, when you go across the bridge, it's that log cabin looking thing right on the right hand side, just as you go across the bridge there.
Okay.
Yeah, wasn't that the Greer's place? We had him on. What was it? Two weeks ago?
Yeah, Bo Carey.
Bo Carey.
from he's got.
So isn't there like an old depot or something up there as well?
Yes,
They're
is. Turning that into a brewery.
Yes, I'd like to investigate that place.
Yeah.
There's a few buildings up here that you could come and take the tour of Loudon with Bo Carey.
Yeah, Bo Carey does a tour.
He does a good job. He tours the cemetery, and
he's a historian.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of history.
And he's a 6th generation Loudon person. You know, he's been here his family's been here since it started.
Well, the Carmichael Inn, and he's part of one of the founding families of Loudon. Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, and he does
That's cool. I'll have to look at that place next time I'm there.
Yeah, we've got a show that we've done on it, and there's all kinds of stuff that's happened there, all kinds of activity. So it's pretty cool. But yeah. So, but that's not what we're talking about. but I mean, there's. In our area, there is a lot of pretty cool stuff that goes on and that has gone on. And so you could probably find, if you could get into places, I guess, legally, places to do it. But, you guys, I mean, y'all offer that in a setting that's set up for people to already come in and not have to worry about things falling on them, right?
Well, we hope not.
Not on purpose, right?
Not on purpose. We try to screw the heavy things down just to be safe, but
Right. Well, we're definitely going to have to come out and visit at some point, especially, maybe we'll try to do something before the Scream Fest, but we'll definitely be there then. So.
Sounds great.
We had fun last year, and anybody that's listening to this that's in this area, I would say you have to go and visit. We had a ball last year.
Yeah, it's way better than Dead Man's Farm.
Yes. Yeah. We had a blast. The tour was awesome. And I'm telling you, I had fun when we went and had our cards read, and you said you're having all that stuff this year too. So my wife was actually thinking about going and reading People's Tarot, but she's chickened out of that. So
well, obviously you weren't the couple that was told the husband was cheating, so that's great.
Yeah, not me. Nope.
Yeah, that didn't go over very well.
No. Sucks to be him, I guess.
Yeah. We're still 4.5 months out from the festival, and we're already larger than last year.
Wow.
As far as vendors goes. Yep.
Wow.
We've not even made a push to get vendors yet, really.
That's fantastic. Yeah.
So hopefully we'll just continue to grow and grow each year, and be able to keep up with the demand and get more and more space, and everybody will be able to come have a great time and enjoy their day.
Well, I know when we went last year, we had fun, didn't we, Jason?
Oh, yeah. I like it because it's shady.
It was. It had a lot of shade trees. Yeah. And even if it was hot outside, it was nice.
We actually had a very good turnout considering it was still COVID, restrictions back then.
Yeah. Yeah. That's true.
We held it in the spring of 21. So we're doing it to launch the haunt season this year. So that's why we picked October the 1st.
October's my favorite year.
Oh, yeah.
Your favorite month?
So it's my favorite month. Yeah, my favorite year. It's my favorite month. My favorite year.
So people can come in and enjoy the festival and then do the day tour and then come back that night for the haunt.
See, that's awesome. We do a big, huge October 31st party every year. We do a big Halloween party here at the house. About every year we have somewhere around 30, 40 people that show up. We're trying to get it bigger, but it's all friends, family, and people we know. And we have a big, huge costume contest. We give out prizes. We actually have trophies made. We give out trophies and all kinds of stuff that we do to it's all in fun.
Oh yeah,
it's all in fun.
Now on Halloween last year, we took Halloween Day and went back to what we all started it about. The whole reason we started this in the first place, and did it for the kids. So we had Trick or Treat the Chamber on Halloween Day, and the kids come out and got free popcorn, free cotton candy. We had some different booths set up where they could go around and trick or treat the different tables, and got to go inside and get candy from the witches and the little clowns and different people inside the house as well. So that's something else that my husband and I decided that went over so well last year. The kids love it. That's the whole reason we started it in the first place. So that's something we're going to continue to do each year too, and just try to continue to make it bigger and better. So Trick or Treat the Chamber will continue again this year.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I like that. Trick or Treat the Chamber.
It gives the families and stuff a safe place to come, bring the kids, let them dress up, get them some candy, have a little fun, and not have to worry about, I don't know who lives here. Should we knock on this door or not?
Right.
All right. Well, I guess it's time for us to end the show. I want to thank you again for being on. We really enjoy talking to you about this stuff.
Love the paranormal.
And hopefully we can have you on again.
Well, thank you so much for having us.
It's been fun.
It has been fun. I've enjoyed it.
And you can listen, re-listen or whatever. Just search for Paranormal 411 on any of the platforms, and you can find it.
Yeah, we're everywhere, so you'll be able to listen to your own episode if you want to.
Oh, yeah.
Go in and share the link to the Facebook page or something. Do that.
I
don't like to hear myself talk very much.
Back when we first started it, I would listen to us pretty religiously, and I don't do that anymore.
No,
I'm just like
we'll go home after a night of working, and we get ready to lay down, just kind of relaxing for the night. And my husband starts playing back the Facebook Lives, and I'm like, "Can you please go to the other room because I am not listening to that." My accent kills me. I'm like, man, I really sound Southern.
Yeah, I sound real Southern too. So,
hey, but that's what we are. Let's own it.
Right.
Is that old country boy?
Thank you guys for having us on.
Y'all have a good night, and
we'll definitely see you guys in October.
Absolutely.
Sounds great.
Hopefully sooner.
All right. If we have anything come up investigation-wise, we'll let you guys know.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you very much.
You're very welcome.
All right. Have a good night.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Well, that was a great show.
That was awesome. I had a great time.
Yeah.
I was very
paranormal. So, remember the Screen Chamber in Athens, Tennessee. If you guys are local, or if you want to drive, it don't matter. You can
look. There's people who drive all over the country to do paranormal stuff, and this is something that's I don't think everybody and their mama's done it. So I would think that a paranormal group would want to come down here to do it. Yeah,
and the house has a lot of history, and I forgot to mention it, but it was back in the days of the slaves, and it was the house was built, I'm pretty sure, by handmade bricks.
Yes, right on the property.
Slaves. Yes,
yeah, it was.
They took the mud from the property and made the bricks and built the house.
Yes, because if I'm not mistaken, that's what Clegg did. He was from up north or something, wasn't it? And when he
I think he was from Kentucky or somewhere like that.
Oh, that's north from here, so that's close, right?
Yeah.
But when he moved down here, that was a trade that they said that he taught the slaves how to do, and that a lot of them actually left there or became pretty prominent people in the area.
Yeah, he would.
A lot of the slaves.
He even considered some of them his family.
Yeah.
He seemed like a pretty good guy.
Right. Yeah.
So that was Task Force Paranormal and Heather from the Screen Chamber.
That was a great show.
Look up Task Force Paranormal on Facebook, and you can follow them and see their investigations. They do quite a bit.
And if you do that, you may be able to go on a vacation on a
investigation
with them.
Yeah.
My tongue ain't working. I don't know what's happening.
All right.
But, hey, free investigation with a bunch of people. That'd be fun.
Yeah.
I hope they call us.
Oh, she will.
That'd be great.
So
another one of those.
I want to thank you guys for listening. Remember, you can catch it on the podcast if you want to replay it or whatever.
We're on Podbean. We're also on Spreaker. Also on our website at paranormal411.org. And you could actually listen to all of this off of our website at paranormal411.org. I'm talking faster than my mouth will go right now. I want to lay off the coffee before the show. That's what I'm going to do.
Okay.
But you come over to Paranormal 411, and we do have all the shows. It's on our shows page.
Oh, we have a new menu button.
We do. Tell them about this.
I've been working on this all for 2 weeks. It's called 411 Swag.
Some pretty cool stuff.
We got some merchandise now, baby. I mean, you could get a shirt, coffee mugs, pins,
stickers. The stickers are, I will tell you, Jason has some stickers that he got in. These things are pretty cool. I mean, they're like a vinyl type printed sticker or something.
Die cut.
Yeah.
They're weatherproof, waterproof, and they should last a lot longer than regular vinyl.
Yeah. I know they feel good because you gave me one today.
Yes.
It was awesome. Thank you, Jason.
We even have teddy bears, elephants, and rabbits.
Hey, that's cool.
Yeah.
you give the little ones something, huh?
Yeah. Go on 411 Swag on the website and just check it out and tell us what you think.
That's awesome. That's cool. Well, it was a great show, Jason.
Yep.
And I want to tell everybody that we thank you for listening. We thank you for coming on to the live show. We also thank you for listening to the podcast. And we will see you next week.
Next week, we have Wajid Hassan.
Oh, man. We had a great show with him last year when he was on. So definitely check it out. You come to paranormal411.org and you could look up and see what it is that we're going to be talking about. And you could also come onto our Facebook page and see it there also. So we will see you next week and have a spooky Friday the 13th. Have a good night.
911, what are you reporting?
We got someone or something crawling around out here.
Did you see what it was? Was it a person or an animal or?
I can't tell. All I know is that my central light came on and I just happened to glimpse and see this thing running across the yard. A good-sized man or something looks like a man. I don't know what it was, just that it ran across the yard.
Okay. You've had problems in the neighborhood before?
Yeah, my dog was killed here just recently. I don't know what it was. Whatever it is, it's running. I couldn't catch it if I was going to chase it. But whatever it was, it was standing up. I'm out here looking through the window now and I don't see anything. I don't want to go outside. Jesus Christ, you better...
Sure.
Tia!
Hello?
Get somebody out here.
What's going on now, sir?
That son of a bitch is about 6'9", I don't know.
Do you see him now, sir?
Yes.
You're listening to Paranormal 411. Coming to you live from an undisclosed location deep within the Appalachian Mountains. Bringing you the unknown with your hosts David Reagan and Jason Scott. Paranormal 411.